based off the description that Rockstar provided on the website, they said that like Mount Caligan National Park is up the northern border of Leonidas. So I find that interesting because there really is no mountains in Florida in real life, right? So they're definitely taking inspiration from Georgia and including it within the northern part of Leonidas from what we can see here. So that's why I really do think that the first location that we see, I feel, is going to be Gloriana. But that's just my opinion there. But yeah, like I say, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Like you said, the map expansion topic is something very interesting. And look, I'm sure, and this is something that ties into something else that we could even get into, is Rockstar being quite secretive about how big this map is. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, without 100 goddamn %, there is so much more that we don't even know about yet. There's so much more that we haven't even seen yet. Again, the question I was going to ask you in the chat was in regards to Gloriana. I just Googled it then. It's Providence State Canyon Park, or Providence Canyon State Park,
Thank you.
which is
Yes.
in Georgia. Yeah, and that is basically what Mount Caligan is. So 100%. So the question I was going to ask you was, do you think Gloriana is going to be available straight away in the game, or do you think it's going to be sort of like, not exactly unlockable, but we're gonna go back to like the old GTA games where we can't actually get there straight away. Like we have to like play through the first chapter or the first 2 chapters before we can actually go to Gloriana. So there's actually part of the map that's locked off. Like the map's gonna be that big. Technically, it won't actually stand as expansion because it'll be there from the get go, but we won't actually be able to access it yet. Like, do you think? Because a lot of people have mentioned to me and talked to me about the weather system and the hurricane, the rumors that the hurricane and stuff. Is there a possibility that maybe we start the game and there's been like a massive hurricane, so we can't access like Gloriana at the start, and then we go through chapter 1, and then it turns out that now like everything's been sorted and we can actually reach Gloriana? Like, is there a chance that's going to happen?
That's a very interesting thing you bring up. That's not even something that I actually thought of until you just mentioned it. I would say that if that is the case and they're planning to do something like that, whether it's like, for example, there is, Gloriana's locked off until like, let's say, chapter 4, chapter 5, and whether it is something like Rockstar have done in the past, whether it is the hurricanes that are affected, like in Vice City, or whether it is terrorists in GTA 4 where it's barricaded so you can't go through to the next location or next area. That is a very possible scenario. If Rockstar do that, I think that it's probably part of Georgia that we may see. And then, if this is the case, just shitballing here, let's see what happens. Then perhaps maybe we see in GTA 6 Online, it's like maybe part of Gloriana, and then it just gets expanded over time. Does that make sense?
That'd be interesting. Yeah, no, that'd be interesting. Another question as well. And I know that obviously the mapping project are doing like great work. I would literally look at the mapping project this morning. Them lot are absolutely smashing it, and we know they've got the track record because they pretty much nailed it with GTA 5's map. But do we think that it is going to be an island like all the others have been, or is it going to be like that Northern Territory? If we can't, like you say, if we can't access Gloriana at the very start, at the very get-go, is there a chance when we finally get access to Gloriana, we can access Gloriana, but it's not like an individual island, like similar to what they did with Red Dead, where instead of it just being one island, it's actually closed off. We can't go past Gloriana, and then that opens up the possibility of more expansion, like where the Northern Territory just keeps going more expansion the more they add to it, like every year or so down the line, like it would be in real life. Because again, when you look at the map of Florida, obviously everything down south, it is all closed off by water, but northwise, that's where she opens up into America. So is there a possibility it's not going to be one big island like GTA 5's? It is going to be the Northern Territories, or where the expansion's going to be. Is there am I shooting bullshit right now? Or is there a possibility that could be a thing?
I'll get to your question, Mo. I'm just going to quickly go to the chat. So I'm Love sent 99 cents. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. GTA Infinity. Love y'all. Can't wait to 360 bike trick shot a deer. Thank you, man, for the $2 donation. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Back to what you were saying. I think, look, with that leak that came out from Game Roll, was it about 3 weeks ago? His source, that is the same source that gave Game Roll the surnames of Jason Lucia, ended up getting it right in the end. Once trailer 2 dropped and the screenshots and all the information that we know so far came out about Lucia and Jason. He did mention that his source claims, and obviously he's relaying the information, whether it is misinterpreted, whether it is whatever it is. He said that the map is an island, so that's the claim out there based off what he said, that it is an island. So make of that what you will. I even though he said that and that's what he came out with, I still don't buy it. I don't think it's going to be an island. I really don't think it's going to be an island. Just based off what they did with RDR2's map and with what they've already hinted at in terms of, what the hints they provided with Gloriana, with Liberty City, with Cuba, it just, for me, I don't buy the whole island theory or there being an island again in this next GTA. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be with what you said, and I agree with you, that I feel like it's probably going to be more so where it's closed off for a certain period of time, and then in single player, as we progress through the chapters, maybe other parts get unlocked, whether it is Gloriana, and then in GTA 6 Online, that's when we see full-fledged map expansions come through, and then we just go from there. That's really what I think.
No, that's I like that shout. That's a good one. I like as well. I'm just looking at the chat. I'm liking Riaz Safarian. Riaz, good to see you, friend, brother. He's asked the question. Besides talking about Gloriana as a location in GTA 6, what do you think will happen in the story that will make us to go to Gloriana? That's something that we're not even at the moment. With the different locations that we've got in the map so far, like Ambrosia, Port Gellhorn and stuff, no one's actually talking about what we're going to be doing in those locations. What do you reckon we are going to be doing in Gloriana? Because I don't think at the very start we're going to have the city of Atlanta. I don't think that's going to be there. So I don't think the music scene is going to be up north.
No.
I think up north's going to be very rural. But again, is that going to be sort of are they going to change it up a little bit where the hillbillies and stuff and the backwood county is going to be living up in Gloriana, or is it going to be? I don't know. What do you reckon? What in regards to the story? Why are we going to get sent up north? What do you reckon it's going to be?
It's an interesting question, isn't it? And it's a bit of a tough one because I mean, there hasn't really been anything. Obviously, we've seen the license plates that show us Gloriana. We've seen vehicles showcasing them, perhaps maybe going through into Leonida, into Vice City. So we've seen that already. But yeah, what would be the reason for Lucia and Jason, or why would there be a mission out there? I feel like there's not, for me anyways. I don't know, unless anyone has anything better in the chat, I can't think of anything that would make us go to Gloriana based off what we know at the moment, early in the story. Perhaps it is later in the story, but I don't know what it would be, because we've seen, Mount Caligan National Park. We've seen, it seems like Rockstar taking inspiration from Georgia and including it within the northern part of Leonida, but what would be the reason why Jason Lucia would go there? It seems like the story at the moment and the robberies and the things that we have seen thus far point to Port Gellhorn, point to Vice City, that Lucia and Jason are most, I would say, being situated in most of the time based off what we have seen thus far, based off even the leaks as well. You think about the Hank's Waffle diner scene that we saw them rob, that was in Port Gellhorn. We've seen, even in this second trailer looping in the background, we've seen there's a scene towards the end of the trailer where Jason jumps off the back of the onto the vehicle, and I think that is in Port Gellhorn. We see towards the end of trailer 1 where I think it's either Jason or Lucia drifting around the corner. We see Port Gellhorn in the background. So it seems like there's more things happening in relation to this story thus far in Port Gellhorn and Vice City. Even the Leonida keys that we're seeing on screen with Jason talking to Brian Heder, his friend. Yeah. So there hasn't been anything where the story's been like with Jason and Lucia being hinted at with Gloriana. We've seen is the number plates. We've seen up north Mount Caligan National Park with the mountains that, like you said earlier, with the Providence State National Park. From what you said, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the story at the moment is in that area or hinted at with Lucia and Jason. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it.